Murphy's Law is this. If something can go wrong, it will go wrong at the worst possible time. Careful with the C4.
It's not stable.
Yeah, well, everything's unstable.
Speak for yourself.
I'd kill for some action.
The best action is no action.
Dispatch, we are getting robbed and we need backup. We're being jammed.
Anybody home? Go! Don't waste time. You come out now, and we'll get you to a hospital.
We open the doors, we're dead.
Be smart. That's not your money.
You didn't do this plan to keep 2 witnesses alive. And if you could blow these doors open, you wouldn't be here negotiating with me.
Bad choice. There's only one way out of this thing where you're still breathing.
Dash, how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy to talk to you. I'm such a fan of yours. Every time I do interviews, I just geek out because I'm just like, I'm a fan. I'm sorry. As you can see, we're talking about Sly Stallone and you in armor. I got Punisher. I got the Punisher on.
Did you like the Punisher that I was in?
Okay, listen. I'm a huge Punisher fan from day one, okay?
You crapped on it, and I thought she did a good job.
Listen, I love Punisher Warzone. The late great Ray Stephenson, you were great in it. I loved you as Martin Soap. You brought the levity, the comic relief to it. I loved it. Just real quick, talk about working with the late great Ray Stephenson. I'm such a fan of that movie. I loved it.
So you're a fan.
Yes.
I feel like they buried that movie sadly, but
they did. So mad.
This is a Lionsgate film too, but so no offense to anybody.
No,
but I thought the way they created the palette felt like the comic book, and it was one of the best versions of it ever. And Ray, it was my heart, and it killed me. I know his family. I love doing that. I love Colin Sam and Lexi Alexander put me in a movie that we got nominated for Academy Award short, and I will follow her anywhere. That was a great moment. And I thought it was really good. It didn't get its due deserve, but it was really a pleasure to be in.
Yeah, like I said, just real quick, and we'll talk about Armor. I just thought it was one of the best Punisher movies to actually bring the comic book to life. It was great. It was
like got the palette, like they got it. Yeah.
So awesome. So okay, so I just had to get that in there because again, I'm such a fan. So you do have fans. I talk to a lot of Punisher fans, and it is beloved to this day. And I know that a lot of people, crap on it, like you said, but it's one of the best. And Ray Stephenson was great in it. So with that, let's talk about Armor. I loved it. You and Sylvester Stallone kicking it. Talk about what brought you to this role. Obviously, working with Sylvester Stallone and Jason Patrick, of course, too. So talk about getting involved with this movie.
Look, I mean, who doesn't want to work with Sly? Period. When I read it and I saw that I was going to be his not co-star but cohort and sort of on the same plane. Yep. Of course, I was extra excited and I had heard that he really had a good vibe for what I was bringing, and that was the most important because you don't want to go on set and with a legend and be like, I don't work with him. But so our synergy was pretty instant. And I think we both from a very directorial brain, so we were able to do a lot of things quickly, and we had shorthand in how we spoke to each other, and like even and gave each other both notes for things, and we both like most of the time accepted them or like debated it quickly. And he's a super pro. He's sly. Of course, you want to do something like that, and of course, you want to be his right hand guy. So it was kind of a no brainer.
Right. So let's talk about your character. So of course you mentioned that you're kind of like Sly's, like kind of like his right hand man, but you guys are like totally different in terms of character. Like he's like nobody's gonna die. You're like, I don't care what we got to do. Let's just get what's in this armored car. So talk about your character and playing such an unhinged, killer.
Well, I think that I mean, look, this is the typical interview, right? It's like, oh, what's your character do? But like, Smoke is he's Smoke. But what I've been saying is that I just wanted to add something to this guy who's in his anxiety and his vulnerability underneath, because that makes the best bad guys ever. So that if I could, and it's hard to do on a bridge where you're running around with stuff, but if you can add a little bit of the frustration and the internal anxiety of what's going on, like it just makes them more human and makes the character more interesting. And he's just he came here to do a job. He's done a bunch of jobs, and this is not working out properly, and he's with a bunch of guys who are amateurs, and now his friend is telling him we're not doing it this way. And he doesn't it's not unlike you know the current climate, and no matter how you want to say it, and everybody, it's like he's out to get his, and he'll do it no matter what.
Awesome. So you talked about the bridge, and again, I love the aspect of this movie because this takes the Die Hard scenario to another level. Because normally when we say Die Hard scenarios, we think inside a building or inside a warehouse. This is on a bridge. You're outside, but you're still confined. You're still limited. Talk about that aspect in filming. Especially like the action sequences and doing the physical stuff. Being on that bridge.
Yeah, I mean, the fantastic thing about being in one location is that you can shut it down and come back the next day, and you're still there, right? We don't have to move, and that helps make for a short shoot. And except that the insides obviously were built in on set so that Jason and Josh could do their thing. But there's also there's an element of difficulty as well in terms of continuity and figuring out where we were, how we were, and what we got to get. And I have such like a directorial brain, which so does Sly. Like we both like think in that realm, which I think helped a lot because we could tell people certain things, and we were kind of I mean, he's obviously the veteran, but I've been doing a lot longer than most of the other people. So people were very cool with us going, hey, we got to do it here and do it this way, blah blah blah. So that in that way, it was easy. What was not easy was that it was extremely hot, and we had a lot of gear on, and we were dying, and I was not 26 anymore, but you could see it in my face. I look at myself, I'm like, God, that is real. That is, that was rough. But what a quote unquote blast to be able to get to do something like that. And Jason's great. I mean, we only really had one scene because a lot of that stuff is shot differently, but um everybody's great. Kale, the DP, is great. All my stunt guys were amazing. Like the crew was great. I worked with a lot of those people before. And yes, it's easier to do on a bridge, and then there's other aspects that when you're in the same place also the whole set can go cuckoo too, right? So you have to everybody has to breathe a little bit here and there, but it wasn't a difficult one.
Gotcha. So now you were talking about, the heat, wearing all that tactical gear and all that stuff. Do you have a good anecdote like with Sly, on the set? Do you have any like,
Oh
good
yeah,
story?
the first thing I said to him was I was busting his chops. I was like, why he's not wearing a flak jacket? Look at
He
him.
wasn't. That's true.
He's not
Yeah.
sweating, and I'm dripping sweat. I look like hell, and I'm like, what? And I told him, and he was giggling, and I was like, you're the hero. He didn't have to wear the flak jacket, and I had continuity. So, but a funny quick anecdote was that I was doing an EPK away from the bridge, and I was talking about blowing something up, and I didn't know that they were shooting the blow up of the van. And it was in the distance. It was this like beautiful shot that we had kind of set up together. And I said something to the effect of like, "Oh, well, we have to play." And then boom, this thing went up in the shot. And I hope we can find you the EPK because it was amazing. That was great. I mean, in terms of stuff with Sly, I don't have anything other than we just winked at each other a bunch of times, and that was fun.
Awesome. Well, I'll wrap it up. I thank you so much, Dash. Like I said, I'm such a fan. I mentioned the Punisher, but of course, Ray Donovan. I had to mention that one to you too.
Oh, thank you, thank
such-
you. Are you a fan of LMS? By
Yeah.
the way, you know LMS, the graphic novel, because I'm going to produce that, so I look out for that. Since I'm shamelessly plugging.
That's awesome. And yes, you do have fans of Punisher Warzone, and we love it. And
I love that, man, because
Yes.
I think it was one of the best ones.
And I can't wait for people to see Armor. Again, it's a different kind of Stallone movie. We all know like back in the day what he was known for, but now he's doing different things, which is kind of cool. And this is another like cerebral type thriller, which is pretty cool. So I can't wait for everybody to check it out. And I can't thank you enough for joining me and chatting about it today.
I appreciate it. Wish we had longer, but we'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Have a good day, Dash.
You as well.
All right.
You-